Jamaica. Story unfold. Resurgence. Digital Jamaica. Full convergence. No Jamaica left behind. Speed agenda. We winning the time.
Alright, so thank you. As I listened to that song, I was thinking, the theme, resilience and resurgence. Let me tell you, Hurricane Melissa was really devastating. But can you imagine what would have happened if we never had a leader like the most honorable Andrew Michael Jones? We can now speak of resilience, recovery, resurgence because of the leader that we have, the leadership that we have through the Jamaican Labour Party. If this was otherwise, and we go through such a devastating hurricane, we'll still be on our face. It's still very difficult. And you Minister Morgan in his presentation, he made a point in his sectoral presentation in the Parliament. He made a point that a lot of what we are doing now is digging out from 40 years of neglect, of being in debt, of not investing in our infrastructure. So I notice a lot of impatience. Everything needs to be fixed overnight, but we are forgetting where we are coming from. Debt and lack of investment plagued us for a very long time. So and then as we have started to recover and put a development plan in place, we have had the disasters from Beryl, COVID, and now Melissa. But nothing is taking us off our path. We have continued to move along. So what is important is that you, us, laborites, we have to stay strong, we have to believe in the vision, and we have to be prepared to defend the vision. Because we know, and especially what we are hearing recently, we know a lot of detractors are out there. And it's no longer just a passive opposition. It's an opposition that is determined to undermine and sabotage our progress. It doesn't matter the impact on the country long term. There's a determination that we should not succeed as a party, as a government, and as a country. And that is frightening. So we have to be on our guard. And that is why these meetings are so important. Because it's very important that every one of you must have the information, and you must be prepared to stand your ground, to defend what you know is the truth. And don't back down. Don't get, frightened by what you hear, by hearsay. You must know the facts and be prepared to speak. And so on that note, let me just share briefly that the Prime Minister, in his wisdom, has seen where an important part of where we need to go as a country is that we need to get to where we are having sustained growth of the economy. That is what will give us the revenues to continue the investment in the things that are important to you: the roads, the water, electricity, education, health, development. And so he has put a focus on a growth agenda. And an important part of the growth agenda is achieving efficiency in how we do things. Because the more we can create an infrastructure where things move with a certain level of efficiency, the more we can start generating more businesses, more services that are doing well, and then get to growth. So my job is to look at how we can reform the bureaucracy in a way that where something can take 30 days, and now it's taking 3 years, we have to get it back to where it is taking 30 days. And we know over here that some things might be delayed, but when you put in a system that is transparent and people can track where things are, nobody can.
They might want to,
but the system is there that will show where things are supposed to be. If you're planning to build a house or to do anything and you apply the parish council, you can track where things are. You know you're supposed to get your approval in a certain amount of time. And so a big part of my job is really to make things easier for you to do. And part of that is also ensuring that every Jamaican citizen will have an ID so that you can access services all across government. So you'll notice that we are going around and making sure that you get your birth certificate, that you can get a passport, and we are putting a focus on also the national ID. And I know Mario Thomas, Mario's now with Nero, and we are going around making sure we have a very successful workshop here, and many of you turned out. Persons who had lost their birth certificates didn't know how they would get it back. We are helping you to make sure that you can have an ID, you can get a bank account, and you can be fully participating in Jamaica as a citizen of this country. No one will be left behind the progress that the Prime Minister is pushing. It's about peace and prosperity for every citizen of Jamaica. Is Mario there? I want us to tell us a little bit more about it, but let us move on. The other thing that I wanted, and I think Mr. Morgan, you share a bit about Naro. Yes. The other thing that I wanted to use this opportunity to share with you about is what was in the media a couple of weeks ago, where the government was accused of signing an MOU that would bring criminals into the country. Can you imagine after we have worked so hard as a government to cut crime, to cut murders, rapes, robberies, everything that we would have done something that it would impact that effort. But what did happen was that as we were approached by the United States to have their persons who are being deported transit through Jamaica to their final destination. And that MOU, before it was finalized, it was leaked. It was leaked in such a way to give an impression that it was criminals coming to Jamaica. And the PNP were so well organized that the minute they leaked it, they had persons immediately starting to put a narrative out there. They were playing a tape that speaks about criminals coming to Jamaica, rapists, all kinds of people. Nothing like that. Because even the same report that was published by the Gleaner, it clearly said no one with any criminal record apart from immigration violations. So it was there, it was printed, but they ignored that. And they started running with the story. And many of you got frightened to say, what is the government doing? But you must look at our track record. This government will not do anything that would make Jamaica move from the path that we are going in. And at the same time, you'll notice this Prime Minister. You don't just jump up and talk and run and talk. It's very deliberate. So sometimes in bilateral affairs, there will be a pressure here and a pressure there, and you have to know to navigate. And in everything, you have to do best for your people. So we got asked about this request from January. You notice it took 6 months of serious negotiations because there's something that many other countries jump up and agree to. And Jamaica said no, and we stood firm. No. If certain things are not in place, we can't move forward. And although we were little, we stood firm, and we made sure we negotiated the best way to work with our allies for their objectives, to get people out of their country and transit to another country, but in a way that would not harm Jamaica. And that was the agreement that was signed that persons would transit Jamaica. 25 persons at a time would transit through Jamaica. You are not to stay more than 7, maximum 14 days. And if at any time 10 persons applied for asylum in Jamaica, the program would be paused. That is it.
There's
nothing in it
that would
damage Jamaica.
But again, we have
underestimated, and I'm glad that voice note came out,
because we
have underestimated the determination of the PNP to sabotage this government.
So without
any proof,
they are running with that
narrative.
And sometimes
as government, we cannot respond quickly enough, and we have to learn now that in this environment, we have to move very quickly to really shut down the lies.
Yes?
And so it's important that you hear the truth.
No,
as ambassador up to last year, March. I was watching what was happening with the new administration coming in, the Trump administration. And I studied their documents, and I saw where there's going to be a mass deportation of persons who are not yet residents of America, legal residents. Many there, 14.3 million people that are working in the United States now. Many Jamaicans don't have their papers, but they were in the process. So they were working. They were what you call undocumented workers.
Not criminals.
They are in the US working, hoping for the opportunity to get through with their residency application.
The Trump
administration, they came in with a new policy, a migration policy, to say, no, we are not doing any of those residence approvals anymore. Persons who are not yet residents will have to leave.
Many people were hoping that this wasn't so, and they were looking at options, so they weren't really taking it on. Our job at the embassy is always to look at different scenarios. What's the worst scenario? What's the best scenario? And look at every situation. Is there an opportunity for Jamaica to benefit in any way? And so in looking at the fact that you have 14.3 million persons undocumented, many of them on the farms, in restaurants, in hotels, we said there's
going to be a massive dislocation. In the industry, they are going to need people. So one of the first things that we propose in our document that I call a cooperation document is we propose to the United States that we have a farm work program and a hospitality work program, what they call H2A and B, where Jamaicans have been going up and helping, working on a seasonal program for the last over 80 years. And so I propose that we can move that program from 20,000 to 200,000 persons. And that is what is part of what I started to propose. I said, you don't expand programs like this and you move out the undocumented workers, your economy is going to take a hit. But Jamaica can help. Jamaica can send workers in a legal framework. That is what was outlined in the proposal. The second thing that I said is that we recognize that Jamaica, we're having a decline in population. So, Councillor, we're going to do some things in Northeast Manchester to increase the population. I don't know if we need to plan some more things or what we need to do, but we need to increase the population in Northeast Manchester to show the wheel. Anyway, what we also said is that we have noticed that over the past 40 years or so, every year 20,000 Jamaicans are migrating, including many of our trained people. Right now, if you do anything in technology and certain other fields, and you go to the embassy on Hope Road, they don't ask too much questions, stamp, and you're gone. So we have to start looking at how we can stop our own brain drain. And we have to increase incentives. We have to expand our economy so that persons can see that they can work here. But that's a process. In the meanwhile, we have to look at how we can attract more investments. And in doing so, we need to get more workers with certain skill sets because we don't have them. Some of our persons are gone. So I also studied the information and saw that Of the 14.3 million persons, 8.5 million are skilled workers in some of the areas that
And they put the two things together. And they started the narrative that this is about rapists and murderers coming in. And even though the two things had nothing to do with each other, unfortunately, it was just, they were so ready. They were well prepared. They thought they had something that could embarrass the government. And they ran with it. And we did react a little slowly. And I know many of you were worried about what is this that we are hearing. So I want to use every opportunity to say no truth. The programs that we are looking at are programs that will benefit Jamaicans. How can we get more of our people in an expanded overseas program where they go, but they come back? Because we have to build up our own country. You go, you get exposure, you earn foreign exchange, get some more skills, but you come back to Jamaica because we need every Jamaican to be here. And with what is happening now in the world, believe me, you want to have your own country. And you want to be able to know that Jamaica is a place that will always be here for you. And all of us need to be dedicated to the upliftment of Jamaica. Right? Because at the end of the day, nowhere no better than yard. Right? So, very important. That is the program we are working on. We are facilitating our ally with a transit program, but we are also looking to discuss ways to have more Jamaicans going abroad to the opportunities that are coming up in a structured legal program. And we are also discussing getting skilled workers into Jamaica. Just as what we are doing right now, we have gone to Nigeria, Ghana, India, Cuba. While we are building up our training here in certain areas, we are also getting persons so that we are able to still attract investments in Jamaica. So nothing that we are doing will stop Jamaicans being able to grow in Jamaica, find employment, and live a good life. As you know, our focus is prosperity. So we can't do anything that will bring down any Jamaican. So I want to take a minute, Mr. Chairman, and just ask if you have any questions that I can make sure that you are clear. And any circumstance you find yourself in and people talking foolishness and bad-mouthing your government, you can speak clearly. So I'm here if you have any questions. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Minister.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm the counselor for Forest Region. I love the way you present that to us. But could we get that out there in the form of a message where we can circulate? Because I'm living in a division that is rural. Most income earned in my division is from Oxide, that is same place in the district.
Yeah.
So it's from
How it was in the past, the numbers were limited. And we saw an opportunity to expand those programs. So in fact, you know, the PNP, they were very clever. When they saw what was proposed, they knew that if we are able to get these programs going, those programs plus narrow, you can't stop us. And so there's a full attack to stop our progress. So yes, I will take that into consideration. I know the Prime Minister is going to speak on it, and then we are going to start roll out the formal communication, but we must make sure it gets to the streets, to the corners, make sure our councillors are fully informed. I get it. Yes, will do.
Might I just add to that? We need
And sharing with me, and again welcome to Northeast Manchester for all of you visiting. Thank you.
Let's give her another round of applause. Yes, labor rights. It is clear that at the heart of sabotage is telling lies. And again, God really helped us with those leaked voice notes, because at the very least, we now know what they are thinking and what they are planning. And we have seen the kind of onslaught that they levied against Minister Marks, where these third country nationals are concerned. But the facts can stand up to extensive scrutiny. And the minister has been doing a very good job, and she has done a very good job to provide clarity and the explanation that is needed. And it is for us now, when we hear them, because they're all over. For those of us who operate in the deeper rural spaces, that's all the people ever talk about. Brother, we don't want no rapists and no criminals here. And you know that that is something that your government would never deposit on ordinary Jamaicans. You don't know no government. You don't know say no government has stand up for no. And when the lies and the propaganda come, you must go there with your chest out in the air and say, no, 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 not my government. So that presentation was important for us as a Era Council, where you hear from the minister herself telling you as it is, the facts, where the TCNs, they call it, is concerned. Now, infrastructure is a major thing in this country. Certain topical matters have been, out there in recent times. And this Era Council, we are very fortunate, because since I've been part of the Era Council, it's the very first time we have had so many ministers of government being part of the Era Council. We are very blessed to have our Minister of Works and Infrastructure being a member of this Era Council. And we're going to invite him now to come and address us. Let us give him a round of applause as he makes his way. Help me welcome Minister Robert Morgan.
Good afternoon, Era Council 3. Nice, sophisticated venue. Ambassador Marks, Lord, I see what you have done for my sister. I wish you could do the same for me, Xavier. Yes. She's a good MP, and I think I am proud that she decided to leave the field of diplomacy and join the field of politics. Though I hope that she now recognizes, after what the PNP has done to her, that she can't always be diplomatic in her response. But my Ear Council chairman, MP Main, my friend and brother, MP Samuda, our good friend from Northwest Clarendon, also fellow councillor, colleague Ear Council, all councillors, caretakers, good afternoon. My grandmother used to tell me that if fish go river bottom and tell us a shark down there, I think after 10 years in government, some of us have stopped listening to the fish. And it has taken a councillor, is it from your parish? Is your parish him come from? Yes. Not calling him name. He has gone to the river bottom and he has come up and told you what the plans they have for us as the Jamaica Labour Party government. I hope it is a good reminder to all of you who have become complacent and are not recognizing that the fight to rescue Jamaica did not end on the 3rd of September 2025, but is a fight that requires us every morning we wake to recommit ourselves to continue the rescue of Jamaica from decades of mismanagement of the People's National Party. And I've listened to my colleagues speak, and I was saying to MP Main that some people have forgotten what it felt like to be in opposition. They don't come to meetings. They're not doing them canvas. They're not doing them house to house. They don't register them constituency. They're not having their cluster meetings. And I'm not going to talk a lot about internal politics, but the way we won was by being close to the people, where even when they told lies on us, the people stood up in front of our Prime Minister and said, "You can't touch him, he has our protection." It is the love of the people of Jamaica that has kept Andrew Holness in government, because the people of Jamaica recognize that the Jamaica Labour Party is the best vehicle through which they will achieve their prosperity. I am here to talk about works, but I need to touch I think I can take my seat now. Welcome, my sister. Call her the Manchester immigration officer. She liked to deport people from Manchester. In 2020, she deported a man in Fly Ghana, South Manchester, deport him from Central. And in 2025, she deported the mayor. So she worked with the immigration services. But when the Prime Minister spoke in 2016 about his approach to crime management, we saw dozens of newspaper articles and press releases, and there were hours upon hours of radio discussions. Where is the crime plan? You remember? When the Prime Minister went to Parliament and said he wanted states of emergencies, the former leader of the opposition supported him initially. But when he was removed and another leader of the opposition came, he and the one that Rhoda deported decided they would pull their support for the state of emergencies. It's not the first time that they have demonstrated that they will not partner with the government to take it to the criminals. Remember in 2010, when the government wanted to extend the state of emergencies, they told the government they will not support the government. When we came with Zozo, they went on the radio and they gave Zozo all sorts of names. They came to Parliament and they fought hard and watered down the Zozo bill. When I raised it in Parliament, one from Portia Simpson seat jump up and say, "Me not sorry, say me do it." They never supported the zones of special operations in the beginning. When the Prime Minister said he's either the judge or the maker, they criticized him. They criticized the Commissioner of Police who led the transformation of the police force. So the conclusion is that now that murders have fallen, the biggest fall in the history of Jamaica over the last 4 years, the people of the PNP, let me repeat it so you can get it on record. The PNP can take zero credit for the reduction in murders and crime in Jamaica. They did not help in the fight against crime. As a matter of fact, at every single stage, they presented themselves as obstacles. Let's just put crime over there. When we went to Parliament and we came up with the NARA bill, Prime Minister asked myself to lead the passing of the bill in the House. They had me sitting down there. What was it, Matthias, 3 o'clock? From 3 o'clock in the afternoon till almost 2:30 in the morning. Every single clause in the NARA bill, they challenged it. Even when they came with amendments and we took the amendments, when the time come to vote on it, none of them voted in support of NARA. Let me repeat. Not one People's National Party MP voted to support NARA. The biggest beneficiaries of NARA will be the people of Westmoreland. All seats in Westmoreland are controlled by the PNP. The biggest beneficiaries of NARA will be the people of Hanover. All seats in Hanover are supporting the PNP. St. Elizabeth gonna benefit from NARA. St. James gonna benefit from NARA mostly. The West is gonna benefit the most from NARA. Not one of the PNP MPs from the West voted to support NARA. So, labor rights, I want to ask this question. When we build up the road from St. Elizabeth through Westmoreland to Hanover to St. James, which one of them should be there when we are cut the ribbon? When we build the bridge them, majority of which will be in Westmoreland, which one of them are going to go on the bridge, go to social media video, go talk about how them help to build bridge? The bigger point in this conversation, colleagues, is that the PNP has a philosophy. The PNP's philosophy is that unless it's PNP do it, it's no good. So me can sure if the Lord and Savior come down and did a try pass in Nara, they would have voted against him too. Because even when they suggested amendments to the Nara bill, and we accepted their amendments, they still voted against the amendments. And I'm very happy because one of the biggest issues they had with Nara is they say Nara was given the government the ability to, if the parish councils don't act quickly, to intervene, to step in. And I'm happy your councillor from Manchester confess he went to the bottom of the river and him go meet the shark and him come up and confess. Say, yeah man, we did a plan to slow it down. So now all of the people who were saying, why did we put in a stepping clause where if the parish council or any agency decide to delay the implementation of a project with justification and expert advice, we can step in and force that entity, whether it be a parish council or any other entity, to do what they're supposed to do. There's a reason because we know how them steer. When we said we wanted to name the highway from Harborview to Morant Bay, the Paul Bogle Highway, we wrote to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation and them sent back letter with one bag of requirements that were unnecessary in order to stop us from naming the road after Paul Bogle. And now that we say we are going to do it anyway, and we are starting naming it from the border of St. Thomas, I see the opposition shadow man coming and say, well, we don't have a problem with naming, you know, but the road this and the road that. If you didn't want to name the road, you should have built the road. You had a long time to invest in the people of St. Thomas, and it took a Labour Party government to bring St. Thomas and put it on the map. So the opposition cannot come and claim nothing about St. Thomas. Just like how them can claim the recovery and them cannot claim crime. So on the 30th of July, we will be in Morant Bay, and the Prime Minister will be naming the road the Paul Bogle Highway. And remember, they were planning to build a road, but they were planning to toll the people them of St. Thomas. The Prime Minister said we're not putting no toll road. We want to build a road that is going to open up St. Thomas to development. Remember when it used to take you 3 hours from Harborview to go Portland? By the time you're done drive, you have to stop at Princess Margaret because your back leak out. And I welcome the new shadow spokesman. Because he means, I don't know how you can replace a shadow with a shadow. But I want to advise him, if you run down your shadow, you will never catch it. The government of Jamaica has a plan to develop Jamaica. We have built up Jamaica. And labor rights should be proud of the rich legacy of the Jamaica Labour Party. When they were running the West, they could have built the Montego Bay Perimeter Road. It took a Jamaica Labour Party government to build the Perimeter Road. And in October, we're going to open the Perimeter Road. Want to see which one of them are going to come join if you cut the ribbon? Remember, Jamaica's roads have been under pressure now for about 2.5 years. I became minister in June of 2024. Who remember what happened in 2024 early? In June 2024, Beryl hit us. And after Beryl hit us, we had about 8 months of rain. Tropical storm Raphael. Every road in Jamaica mash up. We had to spend about $6 billion to fix the road in Jamaica because of the rains. Me out there myself, I mark road as minister. So we recover a little and we start build back and start build some momentum. Money start come through the tax portal again. Me start go to Fayeval and say, Fayeval look like a thing look good enough. My little thing now I can go spin up this one. Fayeval say, well, Minister, let us see what the books look like. You know Fayeval already. Minister, I look at it. And I say, all right, I feel good as minister, man. Something come. And Melissa come. We fixed 2 roads in a Floyd Green constituency, and when I go down there after Melissa, I just turn back the vehicle and go back up the road. Melissa did not only affect the western side of the island. Everywhere in Jamaica was impacted by Melissa. So I don't want nobody come talk about, say, Uncle West get lick. We are spending over $60 billion to start the recovery from Melissa. Everybody has had to give up a little piece of their money. Ministry of Works has had to give up some of their money. Ministry of Finance has had to give up some of its money. Ministry of Water has had to give up some of its money. Because we have to help the people who are suffering. $10 billion were spent to put on roof on some people's house. And I don't want nobody come tell me about how come me not get none. Because while you may not have gotten some of the $10 million, you got some of the money where we give JPS for turn on the light. If the government never gave JPS the money, the light will not turn on. You got some of the money, or your family will get some of the money for the tens of thousands of food package that was distributed after the hurricane. Your pitney gets some of the money that we spend to open back the school them after the hurricane. When you go to the hospital, some of the money spent on the hospital where you benefit from. When you fly out through Sangstar, Norman Manley, some of the money spent on Sangstar, Norman Manley. I always say to people, there are two types of benefits in a country. There's personal benefit and there is community benefit. A government may not always be able to give every single individual a personal benefit, but a community benefit benefits every single person. So I don't want a labor right come say, boy, labor right come say, boy, I may never get nothing. But you drive on the road, come at the meeting where me fix, you tell me say you never get nothing. We should not take the hard work that all of us have put in to build back Jamaica for granted. The government is not a government of an individual. It's a government of people. It's a government for people. It's a government for the country. Which is why it hurts me so deeply when I observe the behavior of the other side. Because their behavior is not for people. It is for their individual political benefit. There are a lot of things that the Prime Minister could do for individual political benefit. But history will not be kind to the politician who sacrifices his people for personal gain. Because at the end of the day, our children will judge us for what we leave for them. Remember, a lot of us, me and Matthew, PNP never left no legacy for we when we grew up. All we get are debt and tax. When budget I read, we used to tremble in Jamaica. Which tax are come now? And you had a government that spent over 10 years without increasing taxes. We have a legacy that we can be proud of. Our Spark program is a legacy we can be proud of.